yeoman.
Ah, well, it's been on order for 2 weeks, sir. I was expecting it this morning.
Yes, it's not like that, is it? Bell pay, is it?
Sorry.
Red Windsor?
I normally say yes, but today the van broke down.
Stilton?
Sorry.
Gruyere, Emmental?
No.
Any Norwegian Jarlsberger?
No.
Liptar?
No.
Lancashire?
No.
White Stilton?
No.
And pray, what is the most popular cheese round these parts?
Ilchester, sir.
I see.
Yes, sir, it's quite staggeringly popular in the Manchester.
Is it?
Yes, sir, it's our #1 seller.
Is it?
Yes, sir.
Ilchester, eh?
Right.
Okay, I'm game. Have you got any, he asked, expecting the answer no.
I'll have a look, sir. No.
It's not much of a cheese shop, really, is it?
I guess in the district, sir.
And what leads you to that conclusion?
Well, it's so clean.
Well, it's certainly uncontaminated by cheese.
Cheese shop with no cheese, that's of course from Monty Python. John Cleese and Michael Palin there with a famous sketch about the cheese shop with no cheese, a bit like the pub with no beer. Now, whether your idea of cheese is an easy single or the finest Stilton, my next guests certainly know a thing or two about cheeses. Over 20 years ago, they began selling cheese on a market stall in Galway, and they now run a cheese empire. They've just written their first book, The Sheridan's Guide to Cheese, written in cooperation with Catherine Cleary of the Irish Times. Kevin and Seamus Sheridan, you're very welcome to the programme.
Thanks. Good morning, Sean.
You are, I suppose, unlikely characters to have ended up where you did, because I think you grew up a pair of, I won't say city slickers, but you grew up in Dublin, and you went to school in Sing Street.
Yeah, we grew up just there behind Cabazza Street in Longwood Avenue in Portobello, and we are Sing Street boys, true and true.
So all this stuff, that these mentions you get are references in Ross O'Carroll Kelly's column or books.
Yeah, I mean,
misguided are they?
It took me many years to warm to Leinster rugby, because me growing up, I was just playing gaff for Sing Street, and we knew there were guys up in Mary's and Rathmines playing rugby, but my first rugby match I went to was a Munster match.
I see, and Kevin, I gather as well that aside from growing up in Sing Street, your mother came from a Donegal background, and a lot of your love of nature and understanding of farming and traditional foods came from your holidays.
Yeah, we used to go up to Inishowen Peninsula pretty much every summer, and so, you were thrown into a farmhouse, so you're helping milk the cows, pick the potatoes, collect flax, whatever it was, so we had a real sense of that, and it was very normal at the time. I think it was something that most people did, actually, and that's one of the great things about the Irish culture, is nearly everybody has one side of their family from the country, so we're not this alienated nation, so it's really good. But also our dad would go out hill walking every weekend out into Wicklow Mountains and further afield, so we just grew up where, there was a natural respect for...
But how did this, we call it a love affair with cheese, how did that evolve?
Well, I think Kevin was still finishing school. I stumbled into Galway during the Arts Festival in the late 80s. I went back again in 1990, and I found a little building down up by Spanish Arch, which is called Nemo's Restaurant now, and the upstairs was for rent from the wonderful Leonie King, and then myself, we opened a coffee shop there in the summer, and then that winter we bought 2 cookers from Collins Electric on Key Street, and 2 chefs were working in Cashel House, Michael Gay and Claude Gay and Michael Ryan. They came into me for the winter season, and we started cooking, and it was that winter that I just started to become a chef with no training.
And so it went from there. And Kevin, I think you're obviously, from what you said earlier, your parents were hugely influential, but tell me about Harriet Leander, another very influential person.
Yeah, Harriet, I mean, when James set up the Blue Raincoat, and then Harriet came in and started chefing for him, an incredible woman who found her way from Finland, Sweden, down through Switzerland, and finally over to the west of Ireland. But she has an incredible sense of food, and she was chefing for Seamus. I came down during my summer holidays to help out, get away and get down to Galway, and then I ended up in college in Galway. At that stage, Harriet had taken over the restaurant, and Seamus had moved on to Edinburgh.
She came in with a bag of scallops and a bag of cockles, and she showed me how to cook them properly. And she stayed then for a few days, and then it just drifted into a few weeks, and then when my beautiful daughter Molly was born, I went back to Scotland, and Harriet took over the restaurant, and it became a Galway institution then for the next best part of 15 years.
And I think there's about 6 years between you, and you followed on then, Kevin,
yeah,
the
so
younger brother.
I was doing art in college, but I spent every evening working with Harriet in the restaurant, and that's where I tasted all cheese for the first time. You know, we used to go around to, what's the shop around where in Westside where Kai is now?
Silks.
Right, but
Silks
I was to say, when I was growing up in Galway, I think there were three kinds of cheese. There was Galtee, there was Calvita, there was three counties if you were sick, and then along came Easy Singles.
And it was the same with us. I mean, Easy Singles was the main one. I still remember, you know, the cheese on toast and the way it browns on the top, and then even the block cheddar.
I disagree there, Sean. I remember Grandad. I remember being sent down to the shop to get a particular cheddar. It might have been Wexford. And I remember, like in the early 70s, coming back and saying, that's not Wexford cheddar. Now, that would be very difficult today. So where there was, we did have an appreciation of a good block of cheddar, and we kind of joke about the Easy Singles and the three counties. And even if you look back into the 1930s photographs, they were making beautiful cloth-bound cheddars in the creameries in the 30s
and
and 40s.
I see a quote in the book saying that any fool can make cheese. It takes a genius to ripen it.
That's
the legendary Veronica Steele, who was from Stamer Street, another great dub. She's down. She was probably the first cheesemaker in Ireland. She made Maline's cheese down the Beara Peninsula with her wonderful husband Norman, and Veronica's cheese is Maline's, but she's just a wonderful way with words.
Now you have a cheese, I don't know, would you call it an emporium there? I think it's in the heart of Galway. How many cheeses do you stock?
Oh, we don't actually. We're not about, you know, coming in and finding every single cheese that you've ever dreamt of. What's more important is that the cheese that you get is in really good condition, and we have a relationship with where it's produced. So you might find 60 to 80 cheeses.
Okay, and I think I was caught slightly off guard there. I thought going to a break out of Oliver Callan, came back here. I was munching my way through. You've got these specialised crackers that you yourselves brought about, and they're now very widely available in
we import a lot of crackers from England. And they're going, you know, what's this about? There's a lot of flour in Ireland. So we worked with a baker, Richard Graham Lee, down in Clonakilty, and we developed these brown bread crackers using our knowledge of Mam making brown bread, and used the same ingredients, buttermilk.
One of the good things from the recession, because we were in such trouble looking at the accounts, we had to do something. So we
and they're now, I
crackers.
think, on the shelves. Is it of Sainsbury's and Marks?
Well, they're in Marks and Spencer's. They're in Whole Foods. They're all over Australia. They keep popping up photographs.
Coming back to the main event, so to speak, what makes a good cheese?
The cheese maker, I suppose, isn't it?
Person and place. So we talk about what's the difference between what we consider. Yeah, so Doris is Jeffa Gill, so it's her relationship with the milk that comes from a specific area, which is the Sheep's Head Peninsula. And the milk from that area mixed with her, it's like any craft. It's the materials you use and then the person who interacts with them. And when we started to move away from that and towards industrialized product, then you start to lose all those individual characteristics, like anything handmade pottery, handmade tables.
But that saying big isn't always bad either, because I've two kids at home, so one of my favourite cheeses is our cheapest cheese. It's in Maryland. It's a block cheddar, and it makes a gorgeous toasted cheese sandwich. I use it to grate. So cheese is
one farm.
Yeah, it's made on one farm. But I mean, cheese can be used as a gastronomy, something to taste, but it's also a great household product. So.
And you go into the history of cheese. Is it true that cheese making began several millennia ago?
You know.
I mean, cheese making would have developed first as a way. Cheese, when it comes down to it, is about storing milk. It's just a practical way to store milk. Milk is the most nutritious food we have, and it doesn't last very long. So just the ingenuity of humankind found ways so we're going back at least 10,000 years. And initially it would have just been through natural souring of the milk and mixing it, and then them discovering that you can separate the curds out of it, and other processes. But also cheese has much less lactose in it than milk, and humans are naturally not able to digest lactose. We've developed to be able to digest it, and so cheese is a way of reducing the lactose and making milk a more
Are you suggesting there, Kevin, that caveman knew that he was lactose intolerant?
No. I love that, Sean, because I mean, I have a T-shirt in Galway that I wore 2 years ago saying it's gluten that makes me tolerant. Our understanding of science is speeding up so fast. So when you meet craft brewers or young cheesemakers, they're so into the science. But you have to remember, 30, 40 years ago, we didn't know what we were doing. We just know it happened. And, we only discovered why wine was wine in the last 100 years, but we've been making it for thousands of years. So people sometimes get caught way too much in the modern science of what's actually going on and forgetting, you know what I mean, but how simple the process is.
Well, people would have known that they didn't make them feel well. They're intelligent people, same as us. And so they knew that when it soured and when the sugars turned into acids, lactic acid, then that they were able to
I suppose there might have been a fair amount of discovery or trial and error, or whatever,
which is what over the thousands of years, hundreds of years. Imagine how much technology can be developed by people.
It's the same as jam. Jam is a way to keep berries in winter. Smoked salmon is a way to keep salmon. You know,
But is there, I suppose, given that there's so many kinds of cheese now available, not just in your own place, but in shops all over the country, is there still maybe a reticence or reluctance